The new year brought a World's Fair to San Francisco, the Panama Pacific International Exposition. Many film stars made appearances at the fair. The fair was an international success, except that European countries could not send paintings to the Palace of Fine Arts because of the Great War. This also affected the film industry, but the Lasky Company was going strong. Every week, Jesse Lasky put Cecil B. DeMille on the covers of trade magazines. Creating product indeed took more than cranking. Producing a film for a combine was a complex process. Adolf Zucker was fair, but he was tough. The machine had to be fed. Jesse Lasky had an idea. The Metropolitan Opera Company had a great star, the American soprano Geraldine Farrar. Nine years after her Met debut, Geraldine Farrar was a cultural phenomenon. Known for her singing and for her acting, she toured the country and sold 2 million records. Her fans were known as Jerry Flappers. Jesse Lasky went backstage with a business proposal. Geraldine was intrigued by $35,000 for a summer's work and by the prospect of screen acting. And her European tour had been canceled because of the war. Geraldine Farrar arrived at Los Angeles in a private train car to a triumphant reception. Although Jesse had promised Geraldine that she could film George Bizet's Carmen, Cecil persuaded her to make another film as a warm-up. Maria Rosa would be released a year later. By the time Geraldine began filming Carmen, she had warmed to film acting, and she told cast and crew to call her Jerry. Oh, there was bad news from Zucker. William Fox was filming his own version of Carmen, with the sensational vamp Theda Bara in the role. This could ruin Cecil's plans for a breakthrough film. There was nothing to do but give this film all the fire that Jerry had in her. Cecil had no trouble finding that. The fight scene with Jeannie McPherson was almost too fiery. Jerry held nothing back. The press followed the production avidly, and the Lasky Company supplied tantalizing art. At last, the film was ready for its premiere. But so was William Fox's. Both films were released the same day. Who would win? Audiences knew what to expect of Theda Bara, so they were curious to see what Cecil B. DeMille could do with the American diva. They saw a woman who looked like no one else, who carried herself like no one else, and they couldn't stop looking at her. Geraldine Farrar got rave reviews. The film made money. William Fox and Theda Bara did well, but not as well as Cecil B. DeMille and Geraldine Farrar. By the time her next film was released, DeMille's Temptation, she was a recognized movie star. Cecil had been following D.W. Griffith's work. He told Jeannie and his brother Bill that he wanted to make his own epic. They began filming the story of Joan of Arc. There were scenes of palace intrigue, a woman possessed by a vision, leading her people into battle. Cecil allowed the still photographer time to capture allegorical images created for montages. As Cecil directed his epic, he was honing his skills, learning to look at a mass of human beings and see any irregularity in costume, makeup, or attitude. When Sam Goldwyn visited the set, he saw a happy team. The big expressive moment of this film, of course, was the burning at the stake. Cecil made sure it was safe for Jerry. The star stayed as long as she could. Then a dummy took her place, and when she saw its wig explode, she became sick and went to her dressing room. Joan the Woman opened to rave reviews. It was well attended, but not well enough to offset its cost. Zucker and Lasky didn't have to wag their fingers at Cecil. He'd made his epic. The next one would have to be made more economically. In The Woman God Forgot, Jerry was an Aztec queen, torn between her Aztec lover and a conquistador. This film lost no money. The Devil's Stone was even more fantastical. And when Jerry returned to the Met, she and Cecil parted on good terms and remained lifelong friends. Cecil had given her stardom, and she'd given him his first epic. This story had a happy ending, and Cecil was on to his next venture, a scandalous tale of interracial love, blackmail, and murder.